What is up, guys? It's your boy GRC. This is Crypto in the Morning, live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. I was live this morning addressing all the Corey Costa, Hodl Dog, FUD, along with some Dodeca FUD. Yesterday, I did a show with David Feeder and RH Max on Dodeca. I brought the pros on right away. Everyone was starting to FUD our names and David's, but we all called it exactly how it was, per usual. Sam went on a tear intellectually, and then I was on the Vegas intellectually. So then we had to collide in the middle. Now, but there's always things happening in crypto. So as Sam's got some beats on some stuff, I got some beats on some stuff. I need Sam's insight on some things. And in general, we're going to keep this show just intellectually into, like, I'm not going to go off the handles. I can do one-on-one solo reactions, scream my head off, do whatever I want videos. But here I got Sam's time for an hour. So guys, just understand, I'm not just going to address every stupid little political Twitter point that you guys have. Generally, Sam wants that fat bag, that LP bag that's dragging him down the stairs. That's what he wants. And that's what I want too, so we can make the world a better place. And I think that's what Richard wants, more guys to make the world a better place. And I think that's what crypto's all about, Sam, don't you think? Wow. Holy smokes. Maybe if you guys got your head out of your asses for 2 seconds. Just kidding. We're not going there, guys. Crypto.
You already know what time it is.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Smoking no blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some hydro, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that just in case. Jim ready sent me to show you the way.
D5 Pro. Yeah.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes. D5. Empty. Money.
Yo, what's good, bro? It's good to see you this morning. This Dodeca, right? What's we got going on here? It's interesting to see these either scams or incompetence. What do we got here? We have an awesome.
Do you have yours still?
I do. I think it's in the bedroom though.
Wow, that's it. You don't have to grab it, guys. Hold on, put me solo for 1 second because I want to give credit to this guy real quick. Hello. There's a note on the back, so I'll read it real quick. Thank you, Jim Rat Crypto, for keeping it real in all your streams. Take care. 2022. Guys, you know, that hair, iconic moment. Little high tea in the face. Looking great, though. I thought it's very flattering. Thank you so much. I'm going to shout out all your stuff on Twitter, man. Really means a lot. That takes a lot of work, and that's really good. I mean, that takes a lot of talent, too, for real. So we'll bring Sam back up right now. My Lord, Sam was probably happy about that too. I dox myself that I don't check my mail but once every month.
Yes. What is the point in checking the mail? Like,
other than to see like what scams they're gonna.
If I get something important, it's through this device here. It's not through the mail.
Yeah, if you need me, like you can ring and like somehow I'll answer maybe. But I only answer Sam and Bullish and like 2 other people. But that's not the point, guys. Let me just readjust the video. Thank you so much for the gift. Sam, can we just get started and let's get down to business real quick?
Where do you want to start? Because we got
Dodeca, because I want to start Dodeca because that's where we finished off last night. Sam, they came out with a tweet yesterday. The Dodeca founder, these accounts are all deleted now, so don't worry about searching for them. Yes, people will have screenshots, but I covered this live yesterday, Sam. So we pulled this up all live, read it word for word with David Feeder. You know what I mean? So just understand what happened was everyone was like, oh, Feeder's a rug artist because he said the contract was good. Guys, the contract was safe. but the address was swapped with the guy who audited it. And then there's the LP in the damn thing. With the audited address that he comes out yesterday and says, we didn't find out till now that those addresses were swapped with the auditors. What? That doesn't make, is that like the only excuse you can make? Like, is that the only words that would make some sort of potential? So yeah. And then I went out immediately and I put out the most thumbnail. I said rugged or bugged dodeca gym rat solo live stream. Like, bam, right away. And they blocked me. And I shilled it in their Telegram and said some funny things. Yes. Okay, so it was my first comment ever in their Telegram.
Are all their social taken down because they blocked you, or are they actually?
I think everyone was. I think it's just rugged. I remember the Telegram started erasing messages and people started noticing it, like certain messages. And then everyone was like, uh-oh. Like, because, you know, you don't, when you start erasing stuff, it's a slip. Everyone sees it. So
what exactly happened? The address that was supposed to be for LP was switched. Is that what he said?
No. There's just their origin address, which is supposed to be the man who on our show was here.
So this is where the sacrifice funds are going,
right? It swapped with the auditor's address, I guess his personal little piggy bank, and whoopsie.
Hey, does anybody else want to be an auditor with me? We can easily pull people over, right?
And what did I say? Trusted founder? Why does everyone give me grief when I say meeting these people in person, talking to these founders for hours on end, phone calls? All these things are so important. I wonder why, Sam. Guys, why do I invest in things where these people really show face? Go ahead, Bullish.
His Twitter is still active, and I'm not blocked.
Oh, wait. On Twitter?
Yeah.
Is his Telegram gone?
Telegram is
he must have rugged the Telegram because I don't look at Twitter like that because it's so spammed. I'm sorry.
The Telegram is done, but
ooh, am I fudding?
No, you're not. No, the Telegram is done. His Twitter's still active, but I'll read out what the tweet was.
Please.
A critical vulnerability in crypto dodeca has been brought to my attention. Because dodeca is immutable and without admin keys, the system state will need to be forked, bugs fixed, and then contract redeployed. I'm sorry for any inconvenience this may have caused.
That's very unfortunate for the
Sam. What does that message mean to you? You just heard it for the first time. We never talked about this. You've already heard about dodeca. What is that message? That's the founder.
So I want to give us a little bit of context for when we actually talk to the founder, right? Because it's like, there's another coin coming out. We talked to the founder, and was he on this show?
Yeah, he was on this show. So guys, he came on this show and we talked to him person to person. Man, it's almost like we were trying to show you guys something or teach someone something.
You said asked post show, right? Because if you go back and watch this show, you may be able to tell that there's like a lack of interest in my part. Not that I'm like, I like meeting people but it wasn't super interesting.
I was trying to keep you up like a kid at church.
Because you said something afterwards, you'd be like, I could tell you were just like done with the conversation.
Because I was done. I was like, my whole job was making sure he just like didn't walk away because he was bored.
Or trying to
give him a hard time. I know when he doesn't care, that means
I'm done. Yeah.
Well, no, it means to me, it's like, oh, he doesn't care because the value prop is 0.
Yes.
Frankly.
And there's a 5% tax on something when you could just go do whatever that thing is.
We're teaching people. So when Toby One Kenobi tweets an OG in the Hex community, day one, right? These guys are astoundingly intellectual creatures, right? They're one of a kind, right? These day one Hexicans. No one's ever seen anything like them. They tweet about me. They're like, David Feeder and Jim Rat Crypto. I know people that bought this because they watched your stream and you guys should whatever. And I said, I know people that didn't buy this shit, you dumb fuckers, because I actually explained it. Anyone with a brain that listened to that stream, what did I say before it was over? I am not involved. I'm not getting involved. I don't think I will get involved. And I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Let's be 100% frank. I talk about founders all day long. Founders, but how many times do I have to say founder in a day? And I don't even know who this kid is. I'm not saying he was a bad guy, but I didn't know who he was. It's like Sam's brother asking me for a project. I'm like, yeah, he might be probably a good guy, but Jesus, I don't want to give him all my money. That's a little extreme, right, Sam? Like, why do I have to give somebody that I don't know? He's like, yeah, I know a couple of the guys.
And the guy, something like
Wait,
this.
and I might be wrong about a lot of this stuff. No, I like Toby, guys. So real quick, me and Toby talked, and I know the whole point was that's why people like me, me and Sam could give a shit. We're trying to explain something. Not everyone's like me and Sam. Some people get hurt when Richard Hart unfollows them. That would hurt them. I'm not saying those people are weak. I'm not saying that's lame. Whatever. Everyone's a little different. Me and Sam are like gym rat dudes. You know what I mean? Like we always fight and want to like work harder against each other. But not everyone has to be like that. But I have friends in this community that are sensitive to some of these things, and they're still my friends. You know what I mean? Like I still respect some Corey Costa, all these guys. Maybe we're not the same exact type of person, but I forgot what my whole point was. But it doesn't matter. I think we're just doing we're the only ones working hard. And we're the only ones showing there's guys like me in the chat that don't comment that much, that literally listen while they're at work. And they're buying Hedron at the lows.
And there's whenever you're making any financial decisions in your life, whether it's deciding to get into crypto or making a financial decision with something related to business, you have to be able to make the decisions based upon what information you have in your mind and the trust involved in those things. So when you go through and you find people that are trying to provide, and that's the only thing that they're trying to do is give valuable information. Like if there's something that I'm putting money into, I'm going to tell you what I'm putting money into because I don't need to understand what I'm putting money into. And I'm not going to put money into shit that I don't like. Dodeca, I didn't. You, I think, or Bullish was like didn't want me to talk shit about him or whatever.
Well,
Bullish
Bullish is more friendly towards being like a nice show. Like he wants
Right.
everyone.
Oh no, correct.
Yeah, my whole thing with that is, we're the hosts, we're running a show. Like, if we want to continue to have interviews and founders come on our show, if we're shitting on them to their face, other people are not going to want to come to the show.
And that's what holds us back, Sam. Truthfully, without a team. I'm telling you, guys like me and you will never listen. We'll talk shit till the day we die. But sometimes some things, even though we want to say, yeah, we know Biden's going to hell. Yeah, we know he drinks blood from fucking. Yeah, I want to say all that shit.
And
but
that's
I don't
not to say
because it's a bunch of FUD. You know what I mean? Like we could, all the intellect. Me and Sam love truth. Me and Sam are truth seekers at our core. And we would give up anything for a good truth bombs. I mean, come on, Sam. You were dropping truth bombs about pharmacology before people even knew what truth bombs were. Years ago, things that no one ever heard of, you were covering in pharmacology, not even on doctors' radars. And this guy was covering it for the first time, and he knew it. You still know it. And, those are important, even if only 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 people see that video. Like, you could change history forever with that shit.
Real quick, just so I can touch on that. No, because I think it's important for the audience to know. It's not that we're trying to pander to these people, is that we're just trying to be respectful. And these guys, you can count on Jim Rat and Sam to give you their honest opinion. We just don't have to do it to the person's face. We can cover it the next day, or we can tweet about it and say, yeah, we're not buying it. Or like sometimes like we do.
How many shares do you need to do it?
No, but Jim Rat says it all the time, sometimes with the people there. I'm not putting my money into it. Do your own research, et cetera, et cetera.
I've only bought 5 assets in my life, and they've all gone straight up and to the right.
Yeah, my whole thing is just being, we're running a show as hosts. You know what I mean? We want to be respectful to our guests, regardless if we disagree with their product or not. That's it.
And I think that there's a lot of people that don't understand what this is. So I just want to give a little bit of context because Unsuitable has this here.
And then we're going to go to that thing so you can read it and explain to me, make sure I'm not making a mistake.
That, and we're talking about this one right here. We're going to pull that up in just a second. Yeah. So Unsuitable, thank you for this. Missed the Dodeca train. What was it supposed to be value-wise? Well, the value prop wasn't particularly interesting or didn't seem super valuable to me. That's why I didn't put any money in, and I wouldn't ever tell anybody to put money into something like that. Effectively, you get a coin. The idea behind it was there was no white paper. So I would shed this in the show. There was no white paper, but you donate your money and you get coins. And those coins, there's a 5% tax, right? So anytime there's a transaction, there's a 5% tax. That's a lot. Like, in my opinion, that's a lot of tax, right? For every single transaction. Now, 1% of that is supposed to go into LP, 1% of that is supposed to go into reducing the supply, and 3% of that is supposed to go into sending the like earnings or the taxes back to the people who hold the tokens, right? So it doesn't, there's no like unique way of providing value to me in that system. You're just taxing the entire system and then redistributing wealth. And I was not a fan of it then. I'm still not a fan of it now, at all.
Well, I have hex stakes and I have like there's ways to do this properly without just creating another coin and then giving all of the majority of supply to some guy I've never met, and then saying he can have as much yield as it fucking wants. And then the fucking contract gets swapped with, what if the hex contract, all right, let's say this isn't a rug. We'll read this, but let's say this isn't a rug. Let's say everything works out amazing. What if hex contract code got swapped with some auditors? Will you think RH's next product would be bullish?
Fuck no.
Fuck no, guys. Come on, use your brains. I'm not going to just S on someone's whole career, but the smart guys in here can read between the lines. Like, just pay attention. And for everyone in here that thinks I shill bullshit products and whatever the fuck, you're an idiot. You're all fucking idiots. And, me and Sam have been walking around 7.2% body fat for about a decade straight and doing pretty much whatever we want. Mental health side on side and legal trouble on my side for the last decade for me. But in the last few years, like, we've been thriving because a lot of the stuff that Sam taught me, I already had access to, but I never believed that I was the one that could learn it. And crypto has been the first opportunity where I'm like, wow, there really is no one here to learn this stuff yet. We really are on the cutting edge. Because Sam, you've been talking about cutting edge technology for so long. Cutting edge.
I'm working on it.
You're right. You know what I mean, though? Like, studying, when I say studying, keeping up with the Joneses, but like really keeping up. You know what I mean? So that's Dodeca aside. Let's be done. Let's just be done. If anyone has questions, I'll star them, of course. If you interacted with the contract, I think you're safe. I saw a big red dildo on the chart last night. I can't tell you what's going on. You know me, I'm not a chart.
Down around 80%.
Yeah, so guys, there's where your hard-earned, that could be in USDC. You could be buying the bottom on Hedron right now, or the local, accumulation phase, something that could really make a move for your life, something that you could really extract some solid value and liquidity from. Or you could buy some bullshit that people put together to steal all your fucking money. Okay? So I'm sticking to hex buys, Hedron buys for right now. Thank you very much.
And then the last thing on this, because we have a project that's going to be launching, right, that we don't believe is a rug pull, and we do believe that there's not going to be any issues with it, called Pulse Chain, right? But that doesn't mean it's going to launch successfully. We believe it will, right? Because there's been a little bit of a track record, right? But shit happens. If an auditor went in there and changed the code for something ever so slightly, and then somebody trusts the auditor to do their job and they change that, Pulse Chain could launch and brick, right? Like
and Richard knows that shit too, because Richard's actually smart. And so Richard also actually realistically thinks about all these things. I swear to God, Richard's followers and him have nothing in common half the time. I'm like, oh my God, I wish Sam and I could just talk to this guy, because I bet once you get popular, you can't say whatever you want on the internet without it affecting people. And, that's something that we could not stop, Sam. Something that me and Sam are probably not excited about in our intuition is, if you do, there's some intellectual freedom about making money and having a low enough subscriber count where they won't put you on the news for saying some wild ass shit. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, it's not great press. Like when Richard Hart says racial slur, like, maybe that's locker room talk for me and Sam. Maybe that's locker room talk for Bullish and his buddies. But CNN's going to make that locker room talk really fun for me and my bags when they fucking, and maybe it'll be more popular in the end or whatever. But I'm just saying, guys, collateral risk in everything we do. And me and Sam pretty much are trying to hold a pretty high standard. And we're actually going to keep it pretty suit and tie on this show. Now, when we're individually doing shit, we can do what? But on this show, we're going to try, Sam, I think we're going to try to at least play within the rule book as far as being nice to people.
Oh, well, I think we're always nice.
You know what I mean? Whatever.
Because
Maybe not so directly like combative like we usually are sometimes when it comes to like product. Like sometimes I like to do that because it's fun.
well, I think that
I don't know what the
how I think about it instead of being nice. I would think with being honest, like that is my North Star, right? Is going to be being honest and authentic. And if something is crap, I will ask the questions to show that it is crap, and I can still do that in a tactful manner. But
but no slurs needed.
Yeah, and you don't need to be.
No, it hurts more when you
emotional.
don't use slurs and you smile.
Correct. And you don't need to be emotional. You don't try to necessarily drag somebody through the mud when you're doing this. You can, show that something's fucking stupid without like saying Bullish is a dumbass and he's a scumbag or whatever the case is. You can say, you can ask questions about Bullish, about his project, right?
Yes,
and when they answer the questions, anybody with functioning gray matter can be like, oh, Bullish doesn't know what he's talking about. Right. And that's obvious.
Right. And to your point, you know what I mean? Like, and when you do tell them, yeah, this is not something I'm going to invest in, you're pretty much saying it's trash.
Yes. Interpret it that way, guys.
Yes. Thank you, Bullish. Oh my dude, someone give this guy a Nobel Prize. It's like you'd have to actually watch the show and not just like look at the thumbnail and then write a tweet because you're so fucking stupid that you can't even do it. Like you could be using your Twitter fingers to like make a business. Like when we're done with the show here, I'm not saying I've always done this, but like when we're done with the show here, like we're going to be working on setting up accounts for things so we can be proper and we can do things effectively with detail, just like the guys that I look up to do stuff like that. So I'm learning from if anyone with a brain knew what they were doing, they would try to give Bullish all their money to work with them because he does this shit, helps me for free because he likes the show. He believes in the show. And in the future, we're obviously working together.
I'll say it. I'm bullish on Jim Rant and Sam.
Hey, yes, easier for his mouth than mine, but I'm
bullish. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm bullish on all of it because I've seen this happen with many people time and time again in the industry I played in. It's a journey.
Yes, you gotta accept it. Me and Sam accepted that. I think it's cool.
Me knowing what I know, like you guys think I agree 100% with everything they say they do, and vice versa. No. But we at least have enough respect and confidence in each other to understand that tomorrow's going to be better.
Oh, it's going to be.
But that's also how you get to by having an open, honest Discord where GRC does different shit with his bags than I do. Bullish does different shit with his bags than I do. That doesn't mean that either one of them are wrong or anything, but that's how we, as in the three of us, and hopefully it is coming through in when we do the show, we are getting better because we're learning. Even though I might not want to do what either one of them are doing with my bags, I'm able to learn, and maybe like 2 or 3 of those pieces, I'm like, oh, that's fucking gold. I will incorporate that into what I'm doing. But the other stuff, it's not really my thing, but I appreciate you sharing. That's awesome that you're doing it and it's working for you, kind of thing. And that's, you have an open discourse, and that's how you actually move forward in life. That's how you gain perspective and you gain wisdom, and you're able to actually move forward in life and look at things through a different point of view.
And you need to walk like if Hex went to 0, you would be fine. Because a lot of you guys are walking on shaky ground, my friend. You think if Hex went to 0, you think all 3 of us don't have a chance of not being successful?
We'll still be here every day streaming if Hex went to 0.
And I'm not. What if crypto went to 0? What if Tesla went to 0? What if everything went to 0? Guys like us don't stop ever. We learn. We do research. You know why we're excited about being here? It's not because we're just like, oh, crypto's so fucking cool. No, it's really not that fucking cool. It's just like a unit of accounting that's dope because it gives guys like us a chance to actually make enough money to change the world. There's a premium there. That's why Sam's here, because there's uber fucking premium for his gains and his creativity to flourish into infinitum, where most men just die with nothing. And you know what I mean? Most men. And we're bitching about what? You're going to bitch about Corey Costa fucking getting a job. Fucking dude's like telling everyone he got a job like it's his first day in fucking college, happy as could be. And the richest men in the community that he really looks up to slander him when he brings people into this community every single day, and he's honest, open, and transparent with me as far as I'm concerned.
I like Corey, and there's going to be people in the community who, you know, are not necessarily in the same like chapter emotional, like from their emotional intelligence or where they are on their journey of maturity and getting to the next level. So when you guys see this, because you will see this stuff as if you are committed to growing and you're committed to this kind of stuff, you will see these players do this kind of stuff all the time. This doesn't, you know, stop even if people get money. You're like, oh, that only happens, drama and shit only happens for people who are broke. Well, fucking dumbasses with lots of money do stupid ass shit daily.
Go to an intake center at a rehab. You'll see a lot of different tax brackets. You will. You really will. Some people will have nice purses. Some people will have no socks. Because it's a human thing.
Yes.
Money is just but a fallacy, my friends. Because guys like Sam, if they really need money, they'll take it from you. But they don't, because it's.
I've thought about that when I was younger. I was like, I would be a really fucking good bad guy. I would be a really good bad guy.
I have felt the same. But I always thought about it from the nice, sneaky, manipulative route. Like I was always like, oh, this would be so easy just to be nice and friendly white boy, like run around, sports player, you know. But I'm like, the ROI is so much easier just to like chillax because, well, nowadays, back then I felt hopeless. So now it's just like, you can just do whatever the fuck you want and just LP it. Like all these people bitching about working all day. I'm like, well, you're retarded.
Yes. And you know
I didn't mean it.
What else?
50 push-ups. I'm so sorry if anyone that means anything to. Please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it. But Sam, let me transition this because I'm going to ask you a question. And then we're going to start. First of all, amazing dialogue. Okay, let me read this. I'm just going to read the whole thing. Sam, you comment on it.
Let's wrap up Dodeca and move on so we can.
Okay. I would like to call out CoinTool for running a literal scam, create ERC20 token website. You are told to liquidity tax goes into Uniswap V2 LP, and you aren't told that the CoinTool app has success, will remove liquidity and sell your own token. What a clever scam. I wanted to create a token. So is this the guy saying that somehow like wiggling his way around?
Let's go through this white box here. I wanted to create a token which starved the attention and capital from community tokens, which were leeching from RH products like PZen.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I don't know how to code Solidity, but I've learned how to read and pay for code to be done for me. I saw an opportunity to draw a line in the sand and starve these leech tokens. There are lots of worthless sacrifices with unfinished code, no audits, and endless promises. Etherscan analysis obviously shows the proof and can very easily prove my innocence for all these silly, silly allegations, as long as you know the basics of reading Etherscan. We all have to trust middlemen. We trust MetaMask not to yank everyone's coins by injecting malicious code into their transaction cryptocurrency. Was invented to remove them and be trustless as possible. That was the Dodeca political belief. There are lots of ERC20 token websites, but the one I used had an amazing feature: the ability to pay dividends in another token. If it doesn't help the PLS, Hex, and PLSX community, they are directly taking attention and capital away from the Hex ecosystem. I want the price of Hex to be as high as possible. I even looked on Google ahead of time for reviews of this service and found nothing. What a clever scam that I fell for. Absolutely insane that this website has been allowed to run their service after this many years. Dodeca works as intended. Just the 1% of the tax, which I thought was ownerless, was actually being withdrawn and dumped. Again, I apologize for any inconvenience. So it doesn't look like there's anything from the
Well, they're
peripheral.
forking, so basically they said the only way to fix it was to fork it all and do it again with a different contract.
So essentially, based on that statement he released there, he used a third-party tool to create and deploy the contract. What he wasn't aware of is that the way that it was set up on the back end, they were injecting another address, and that's what caused the issue.
Yeah, but
And it's only 1% of the
point of failure, bro. Like, can you?
No, of course.
It's only 1% of the 5% tax. So
but still, that's wrecked. Like, that can't happen.
Correct. Like if you have, you're making dinner and you leave out just one of the important ingredients,
No, but
shit's still
guys,
garbage.
what I meant, attention to detail. Would Sam? No, no one. That's awesome. No, none of them would do that. So that's why I said, who is this guy? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know his credentials. He could be the smartest man on the earth. But Sam, another insight for people in here, a little bit of alpha before we move on. If the founder is putting his face in front of everyone, but he really has nothing to show on the internet of his success in life, he's kind of assuming something that he shouldn't be assuming.
I still think this guy has the best intentions in his.
Oh, really?
Me too.
My bad. Hey, I
Based
could
on
be
this
funny.
statement-
I would like to hear more.
Based on this statement, let me put in another perspective.
Please,
Jim
I might
Rat,
not be reading.
you want to launch the Rat Coin tomorrow, and you use that website and that service that he used. You create it, you launch it, everything's good, everything's working fine, and then someone else weeks later brings something to your attention like, hey, did you know your contract has X, Y, and Z? Of course you're not going to know because you're not,
No, but how neurotic? If you were my
developer.
dev dude, how neurotic
But
would
that's
I
what I'm
be
saying.
talking to you?
But that's what I'm saying. You just went to a website, clicked a few buttons.
Yeah, but that's
and launched
wrecked.
a coin. No, but that's how a lot of coins are launched.
Yeah, but that's wrecked.
So all we're saying is doesn't mean that he was trying to wreck people.
And it doesn't
I think
appear
he should have enough insight on the market to know that that's retarded.
Bro, try to saying that to the hundreds of coins that are launching.
You're right. No, I'm wrong on this. I know. I'm just talking to myself. I know you guys.
As we're speaking right now, 100 coins just launched.
I know you're right. No, it's just the way the world works. I remind Sam on the back end of this all the time.
He probably had the best intentions.
Sam, some of us are plebs and this, that, and the other. And then I remember sometimes it's like, yeah, most people really, it's about the end user.
He probably had the best intentions, but was not experienced enough to understand what he got himself into.
I want to announce right now, sorry for fudding your name, broski. And if you ever want to come on my show again and talk, you are of course welcome to do so. He's
in the Hex community. He's been in the Hex community. He came on the show and talked about how he's been in the Hex community. He wants this. He doesn't like what PZen is doing. He doesn't like what these other scam tokens are doing. He has immutable code. He is unchangeable. It is audited, all of that stuff. And
so he just took an L.
Correct. He might be nefarious. Doesn't seem that way. I didn't get that.
You're saying low chance nefarious, more chance naive about maybe
tools involved,
naivete,
risks involved. Correct. Just naiveness. But like that's something that everybody who starts out on a new journey is going to run into, and you're going to fuck shit up without realizing you're fucking shit up, and you're going to lose credibility. And how you handle that is as a leader is how you grow. Right? Because some people just give up and back off and they can't handle the heat, which is a lot of people. How you handle that criticism, how you handle the fuck up is how you go through success into the future.
I got hacked and look at me now. That was the first time I was streaming. I was getting invited on streams. I got hacked. I used it as a W rather than a loss. I used that kinetic energy to be a streamer and help people rather than to be a crybaby and never invest again. It takes the same amount of energy to do both, right, Sam? Like if I'm crybaby and broke, I'm still going to be sitting in the same fucking place doing the same shit. But now I have a stream. Now I have a team. Now we have a podcast. Now I have friends all over the world. I went to Vegas. Like, you know what I mean? So like all that stuff, it happens when you just believe in yourself and realize like there is a plan for all of us, not like a fucking guided plan like Jesus or whatever, but well, maybe there is. I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like if you look into your heart and do the right thing every single day, good things will come. But I think not enough people do that sometimes.
So I want to comment on this real quick before we move on to the next topic. But we've had Richard Hart, we've had Dipcatcher, we've had a few developers. I think even Alex mentioned that the audits came back and missed things that they ended up figuring out while they were waiting for the audits. So like just because something is audited doesn't mean it's safe.
You know what else was audited? The mortgage-backed securities that fucking crashed in 2008
Explain.
and 2009.
Before it goes over my head from the verbiage, you said
There's-
mortgage-backed securities.
Yeah, MDOs and all this other collateralized debt. Collateralized debt is just
Oh, so
like,
basically guys like me getting loans on their houses.
yes. And then what I do as a financial engineer is I will take yours and 10,000 other individuals, just like GRC, bundle all those together, put them in tranches, similar to I'm not saying this is in a negative way, but the structure of this is kind of similar how I saw some things with Power City. Not saying it's a bad thing. It's just the structure,
Yes,
the framework.
I agree.
But you basically take 10,000 GRCs who refinance their property. You put them into a bucket of 10,000, and then you push them into different tranches. Right?
Oh.
You don't know what's going on. I take those tranches and I sell them to companies. And you know who audited all those things? The S&P. What is it? S&P, Standard & Poor's rating agency, Moody's rated them, and then there's a third rating agency. They all rated them. What does that mean? It's just the fucking checkbox to an audit. I think Hexer Graffer brought this up.
Yeah, and I learned
These
that
are all
early on
audited.
in crypto, that audits, because Richard Hart told you guys all this a long time ago. Just like Sam, just like me, just like Bullish, there are actually guys that over the years when they do business, they pay attention. They just guys that do business run into these concepts, Sam. You know what I mean? And Richard spelled the auditor thing. He said, this is just a money grab. Guys, it means zero. And I knew that right away. That's why I always said I need a trusted founder. I need a trusted founder. I don't care about the audit. I don't care if Sam gets the audit because I trust him. His reputation means more to him than $100,000. And that's what a lot of these guys will sell their souls for. Whether it's $1 million, $5 million, $10 million. I know a guy that'll sell their soul for it. Whatever. $1.
I'm concerned with the audit on Hex.
Nothing.
Because when you look at Dip Catcher brought this up the other day, and I have to actually take the time to read through this audit, figure out where it is for Hex. But one of the things that Dip Catcher brought up, who is him and Google Cree are behind Team and Desi and all those tokens, as well as Maxi, is that in the Hex audit, one of them, they bring up that in 15 years, to end stake, meaning you have a 15-year stake in Hex and you need to end it, that takes up 50% of the block on Ethereum, right? Right now, somebody with more experience or knowledge on this you can go in there and you can put in many different things into one block. The block is capturing the essence of what's happening. So if I take from my wallet and I send money directly to
How do they
GRC,
manipulate the blocks to make it worse? Okay, this is my question, because I know where you're getting at, and I want to know what you're getting at. So for Hex, for example, when it came out, right, the gas was a different situation. But then at some point, Vitalik updated something.
All right,
And-
before you get to that, what
I don't know the
Sam
specific-
is saying has nothing to do with gas costs.
Oh, well, I know not specifically, but block size does, doesn't it?
No. Listen to what he's saying. Finish, Sam.
So if I'm sending GRC money from my wallet to his wallet, it takes up there's only so much space in a block that you can put in terms of kilobytes of data. So if I send him that can take up this much space, right? So there might be 175 transactions that can happen per block. You can check on Etherscan. But if you do a more complex transaction, like going to Uniswap and providing liquidity with that smart contract, you're doing multiple series of steps. That takes up more data. When you end a stake with Hex, you're taking up 50% of a single block. Now, the concern for me, do you think in 15 years, the cost of Ethereum is going to be greater? The amount of money to take up 50% of one block in 15 years.
Didn't you
This
post
is
some
audit.
sort of a spreadsheet on it that guys were fudding you on immediately?
Oh yeah, so many people in the community are just so.
And it was
butthurt.
legit, like the calculation.
Correct, and that's to date. That's with like numbers for gas, Gwei, today.
And
Like,
even if they
gas is
fixed it hardcore, it would still be ridiculous.
because they're not fixing, as far as I'm understanding, and I could be wrong in this, when they go through merge, the surge, the sharding, the
Correct.
different steps in the process, they're not changing. Please, if I'm
Block size
incorrect.
is not increasing.
Correct. And block size is what you think that there's going to be more people in fucking crypto in 15 years. Yeah. Right. And you're not changing anything. Hex is still going to take 50% of the block size. It's far, unless something else comes along, it's possible.
Well, Hedron came along, and then the blocks.
But that doesn't, I mean, like, if somebody wants to
But you're talking about stake. No, I know the stakes that
we're
are
talking about the function to end a stake.
Yes,
The amount of block size required is 50%.
for every time.
Remember, it's only
For
one
15
block
years.
at a time. Remember, it's only one block at a time being processed.
I know, but Sam, how long duration wise? Like, what's the difference between if you did a 1 day stake and did a 5.
No, it's about how many people are trying to end stake.
So think about this.
Yeah, maybe I just don't understand the concept at the floor layer.
So in 15 years, there's going to be a bunch of people in this community that want to end a stake, correct?
Well, if they last that long, I'm not under the impression that anyone will.
Actually, it doesn't matter if it's 15 years. It doesn't matter if it's
Correct.
1 year. It doesn't matter if it's 2 years. It doesn't matter if it's 3
Every
years.
day that goes by, the stake end length gets
When
longer.
you press the button,
More.
you're taking 50% of a block size
And
on the network.
the
Oh, I see. No, okay, I get it now.
the
more.
longer the
I
stake,
see what you're
the
saying.
longer the stake, the more data is consumed in a block. So if you have a
so
7.5
wrecked,
year
everyone's gonna
stake
think I'm stupid.
and a 7.5 year stake, because the way that it's set up, you know how there's interest paid daily. So every time that interest is paid, there's a little calculation, and it's not on the blockchain. It's just set up like, okay, XYZ address gets this much portion of the pool. Okay, boom. Now tomorrow. Okay, now this address gets this much portion of the pool because data's changed. Okay, now this. And at the end, they've got this giant calculation. It needs to be calculated, right? It's just like punching numbers into your calculator. If you've ever used Excel and you've done like giant calculations in Excel and you're running a function in there, sometimes it can take minutes or half hour to actually run these things because it's so computationally heavy. The same thing happens in crypto. You have 5,555 computations that have been changing every single day for over 5,000 days. And now all of that needs to be put onto the blockchain with the way that it is currently structured. Imagine having Ethereum at $50,000.
So it's just an Ethereum load issue at the end of the day. Like what? Like
Pretty
it's not
much,
really like
pretty much.
it's because it's not necessarily inefficient in the sense like Bitcoin, where guys, and I'm talking to some of the other guys, newer guys in here. When people get about inefficiency in Bitcoin, they direct right at its output as, energy. And here we're talking about it makes Ethereum so clogged up, but it's true to say that we can have an Ethereum that's not clogged up at this point, right? We have Binance, right? I used Binance yesterday. My fees
but where is your stakes?
Oh
On
yeah,
Ethereum,
no,
not
yeah,
Binance.
well, you know me, I'm a freedom fighter, so I like to play with it all. But yes, you're 100% right, and that's why I didn't over collateralize, and that's why I rest easy. Sam, do you understand why some other Hexicans that have been around for 700, 600 days don't rest so easy sometimes in these moments? Because I made sure that I had a piece of the pie and I felt really comfortable with my stakes, but I didn't over leverage at all, to the point where I never felt like for 1 second, because I know how things work, Sam. I know a new Tesla's coming out next year. I'm smart enough to know that, right, Sam? Like, I'm not going to pay for a new Tesla in cash because the one next year is going to be lit and I'm going to run out of cash. And I know crypto's come out, and I know this is the fastest breeding technology ever. And I know I'm smart enough to figure this out if I spent all day doing it. And that's why I quit my job. Sam, we're doing a show with OX Coast Weight Token. And we're going to touch on the merge, but I wanted to remind everyone in here. Weight Token, guys. Weight Token. I looked at my Weight Token free claim bag. Stacked up, baby. We're going back to Vegas, maybe. No, just kidding. That's going to the DCA fund, if anything. But guys, I'm telling you, I saw the price chart go up. Now they're talking fiat on-ramp, 4% tax. You know who's the tax guy in this community? Sam Stolt. And we're covering at 1 p.m. We're having them on, and Sam is giving us the pleasure of giving us another hour of his time, because he does that when there's lit interviews lined up, because he likes to help the community too when he has time.
All right. So real quick, because we only have like about 15, 20 minutes before we have to get off.
I want to talk for another 2 hours.
Let's talk about the ETH merge because that's coming up very soon, and then 24 hours after that, the fork is happening. So
Ooh, exciting. So
bullish. If you pull up the ETH merge countdown, just put
yeah,
it
I'll pull
in.
it up.
It'll show you a little ticker. It's cool to look at.
So what do you want to when you think about the merge, right? This is effectively being like the path to allow for sharding, allow for the surge, allow for these other steps along this path to very high throughput and a lot cheaper gas fees. It's not happening with this step, but it's setting the framework to be like, here's the ladder. The first step is a merge. The next step is this and this. And as we do that, the number of transactions per second and the throughput of Ethereum can drastically increase. But we have this fork of Ethereum that is happening, right? Where everybody's going to get free copies of their shit. Binance has already announced that they are going to support this. FTX has already announced they are going to support this. A plethora, that's a lot for people who don't know what that word means, said that they're going to support this. Now, somebody who said that they weren't going to support this, but also gives you the indication, right? Because I saw some people on Twitter when I posted about this saying that they don't believe that there's going to be free tokens. OpenSea, do you think that OpenSea and the people behind OpenSea may potentially have a different data set, right? They might have different information available to them about what is going to take place. Well, OpenSea said they're not going to support all of the free copies of NFTs, right? Because you think that like, oh, you have an NFT, that is one piece that nobody else can copy. Well, yeah, you can copy that shit. So how unique is that when you can get a copy of it? How can you take advantage of this is a different question. If you have how I'm thinking about this and based on my conversation with Jesse, we talked to Jesse yesterday. If you care to watch that show, put out some good points. In terms
you
of,
went on a show with Jesse yesterday?
Wasn't he on the show yesterday?
No, it was 2 days ago.
Oh, my bad. 2 days ago. I
Okay.
didn't realize it was 2 days ago.
I was
So
wondering because I like Jesse.
he actually messaged me on Twitter. I just saw this a few minutes ago, and I haven't opened it. But
Controversial statements on Bank X. I need you to get into that for me, dude. Please.
I covered it. It's very interesting. It's like
I know.
a
I want
stablecoin.
if you could do it because we went to Vegas, and there was a huge Bank X party. So like another bunch of 100 peoples are asking about it again. And to be honest, I don't want to go there. But there's some people that are saying it's awesome. I met the team.
Yeah.
They threw an amazing party. They were there, physical. And then guys like Jesse, Jesse likes to play hardball sometimes, but he's a very smart guy. So I want to do an episode with the Bank X guys. And Sam, I can get them on if you can do some studying.
Let's get it up. Let's do that.
So I'll
for
get
Friday.
guys, if any of you guys from Bank X are watching this, I want you on the show. Let's clear it. And they're so nice guys. They're like some of the nicest guys. I mean, just as far as being nice.
So how can somebody take advantage of this, right? If somebody
they could sell their ETH into USDC and run.
So the first steps that I would do, if somebody wants to like take notes, the first steps I would do is you want to understand what you like currently have right now with ETH, but also all of your ERC20s, right? I don't know if I would take the time to change anything if you like your holdings. Step number 2. I would start looking for, and this is something that I'm saying this out loud because it's something that I have an opportunity to do too, but looking for a DEX, that's a decentralized exchange on proof of work Ethereum, a DEX, or you can bring your shit over to a centralized exchange. I personally won't be doing that, and I wouldn't recommend people do that, but that is another option. So look for a DEX, right? This DEX, you want to be working on POW. This is the proof of work fork for this, right? Because Uniswap, I'm sure, is just going to go with POS, but there might be a Uniswap fork for POW. Find that. So you understand what your holdings are. Understand that if you have everything that you want in your holdings, perfect. If you don't, ETH is, in my opinion, is probably the best thing to hold during the merge. not for proof of stake, but for proof of work purposes. But if you like what you have, leave your bag the way it is. I wouldn't touch anything. I wouldn't manipulate anything with what you're doing. But on the proof of work side, like what you have, first of all. Second of all, find a DEX, right? And then as soon as this goes live, Bullish said, I think in 24 hours after the merge, the fork is going to go live. I would swap whatever you have based upon our conversation with Jesse. I would swap whatever you have on the proof of work chain into ETHW immediately, as quickly as possible, because that's.
Can you just start, but just in a quick way for like, because I'm still a little hair confused on some of the concepts, because this is like 3 days. I learned about this 3 days ago. So say that again for us one more time, just the same way you said it, just maybe a little bit more for gym rat mode.
So you have probably some Hex, some Maxi, ETH, right? Okay. So in this case,
And some Hedron.
and some Hedron, thank you. So in this case, we got 4 assets here. So now when we get POW, you're going to have 4 assets over there as well. So you're going to have 4 assets over here and 4 assets over here. Now, given what Jesse was saying, I'm not saying that this is the best strategy or the absolute, most alpha thing you
Not
can
financial
do.
advice. Do your own research.
Correct. So, but based upon what he was saying, switching all that over to ETH is probably the best bet. At this point, I think that POW is going to have far more support for more users than ETH Classic. I don't think the price is necessarily going to be at 1,600, 1,700, whatever ETH 2.0 is going to be at, but that is probably the best bet. Finding the DEX, and then you're going to take your Hedron, you're going to sell that.
If you have liquidity providing positions, should you take those out?
Unless you're okay with just not having any returns on POW, which we don't know how much the returns are going to be. The returns could be like dust, like Hedron.
That's what I'm assuming for the average user.
But there could be, right? What do we know about projects when they first launch? A decent number of time, there's a sell-off, right? A decent number of time, there's a sell-off. There's a sell-off with Hex, there's a sell-off with Hedron, right? There's a sell-off a lot of times when a thing first happens. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a sell-off with Pulse X or Pulse Chain, because people have been, hey, I gave all my money. Now we're 90% bear market, and now I need my money back, right? And they're going to dump some of this shit for some. They want some gains, right? They want some cash, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the sell-off. So in this case, what do you think would hold up the best during this? Probably the native token ETHW. That is the rationale or thought process behind switching everything over. I don't know of a DEX personally off the top of my head that's going to be working with POW. If somebody knows of one in the chat, please drop it.
That's all they get out of you. That's all they get out of you till 1, because Sam said he has to go, and I have to do 2 shows today, and he's giving us his time, so he probably has to make some phone calls and eat something. So, guys, I think Richard gives people a chance to dump at a loss for a while when Pulse comes out. Max Payne. No, guys, don't stop reading into all of this stuff, guys. Things change in this market every single day. Start understanding that. Start moving like that. Stop acting like Richard has a crystal ball. Yes, he generally is the smartest guy in the room when he's doing a speech on the shit that he's talking about. But at the same time, the reason that he is that way is because he pays attention to the details every day for very long periods of time. And Sam, just like Sam, if someone wanted to talk pharmacology with Sam, yeah, he would have to brief up for a minute, but he would be just, you know what I mean? Like it's about the everyday studying. If you want to be successful in crypto, if you want to do anything in crypto other than just be a 5555 staker shit talker, fucking, it's like, the reason that guys like me don't put Hex as our main brand is because you guys, I understand it more now. It's like I can't even do honest work without you guys fudding me, and I've been here since half the time that this thing has existed. I gave my heart and soul to this thing, and people still talk shit. And then I see new guys coming in from different communities with new fiat, with families, and they have people with real money, and they get pushed away because there's a rich OGs that just want to get their anger out every once in a while on Twitter like a child because they don't have enough liquid funds to fucking stop working. Richard always said, stop fucking working. What did he tell you day one? Stop working. What did he tell you month 3? What does everyone else tell you to do? Work every single day and DCA into Hex. I wonder why. It sounds like Richard doesn't care. He wants the end user. The end user. That's me. You know why I have such a good perspective on this stuff? Because I'm still in it. But I'm just smart enough to know that it's a game like everything else, and that it's not going to make or break me as a man or anything else. Some people need to remember that. Like, if this thing, you really need to make your life perfect, no matter what asset goes to zero. You know what I mean, Sam? Like, your life cannot, if Sam's life relies on an asset, that's weak. Like, but it can add on to your life. It can make your life better. It can make him impact more people. Guys, we're going on with Wait Token. You know it's pumping. I'll get all crypto shill right in your face. Wait Token with the founders, live at 1 p.m. with Sam Stolt. Sam, there's a lot of news to cover. I mean, endless news. Like, I'm so glad we decided to do this, and we didn't even know it would be like this, because you can't know how much nuanced news there's going to be until you're in the thick of things. And I'm just really enjoying it. Guys, please hit the like. Please smash the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification. Can you start dropping the links for the CITM channel, please, Bullish? Crypto in the morning. It's live on the channel now. The chat for now, until I say so, like, it's soon. I'm going to literally say go, and we're going to all do it at the same time, I swear. So for now, Jim Rat Crypto is the channel you want to be chatting in. But within this month, we're all going to the centralized channel, and all the chatting will be right there. Because then it's just a little bit more focused, and then me and Sam can have more focused separate work and client work, like within our channels. You know what I mean, Sam? Because you kind of like, you have a lot of clients and you have similar videos you have to get out. It's not always for everyone. Whatever. It's not the point. The point is, you guys get what I'm saying. Bullish has these gym rats going. Oh, we got Wait Token, Fiat on-ramp, 4%. Sam's the tax guy. Any closing words, Sam?
No, appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming in today. Go check out the other channel. You can check out CITMcast.com, and that has everything there. Probably the best place to just go, and you can check out like the other channels that I have, the other channels GRC has, and the YouTube channel specifically for the show. That is all. We're going to actually end the show with some DeFi proof, and we'll be back in around 45 minutes.
I'm almost 10K subs on Twitter, and Bullish, we should post out something about the Wait Token real quick to say, if you have a question for the stream, as a Twitter thread. I think that would be a good idea. Maybe you could post that, because
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, because then we can get questions from everyone, and we can figure out what people are thinking about, because Sam's probably going to dive right into it when we get into it. So let's go, guys. We'll see you in a minute. DeFi Proof's our official rapper, guys. I'm not hitting the button.
I got it.
Young folks, you dripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Heart. Richard Heart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Buy my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pro chains out, now get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Buy my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Buy my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart.